Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the MTSU Alumni Association's Lunchtime Lecture Series. I'm Courtney Stafford, and I serve as the Associate Director, and we're so glad you're joining us today. It's hard to believe we're already kicking off another great series of webinars. We took a little short break over the summer, but we're excited to be back with another great lineup of lunchtime lectures, and we're starting things off with a really great topic today. Growing your team with Blue Raider talent. We're hoping you'll walk away with some practical ideas for how you can connect with and recruit fellow Blue Raiders. And we have a great group with us today. We're joined by our friends in the MTSU Career Development Center, as well as 3 MTSU alumni panelists who have some great professional experiences and insights for how you can tap into that incredible Blue Raider network when you're building your team. Before we jump in, there's just a couple of quick housekeeping items. Everyone's microphone is muted, but please don't be shy about using the Q&A. It's up at the very top of your screen. You can just tap on that. And if you have a question, a comment, or something you'd like our panelists to address, drop it in that Q&A, and we'll be monitoring that, keeping our eye on those questions throughout the conversation. We'll work them in as we go. All right, let's get started. First, I'd like to introduce our Career Development Center team. We have Miss Ayla Calvert. She's one of our career advisors. Hello. Next, we're also joined by Victoria Sexton, one of our career advisors. Hello, Victoria. And then finally, we have Jenny Bryan, he serves as the Assistant Director of Employer Relations. Jenny is going to take it from here, and she's going to introduce our 3 alumni panelists and get our conversation started. Jenny, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Courtney. Excited to be here again today. We did a panel similar to this last year, and it was received so well, and there were so many great insights that came from it. And so I'm hoping that you'll be an engaged audience and challenge us with some questions in the Q&A. That always helps the conversation to be authentic. As you can hear, my voice is not holding up well, y'all. So while I normally run point on moderating employer panels that I assemble, I'm going to lean heavily on my team members today to help rotate in some questions as well in between times. So apologize if my voice is grating. There's not much though. But today's conversation is I'm hoping going to expand the way that everyone thinks about recruiting. It's not just, showing up for career fairs. It's, it's not just about posting jobs. It really is an effort to engage with students authentically, to represent your organizations and the things that are really positive about them, and help students grow in their career trajectories with the ability to give them substantive opportunities in your organizations when they are in school as interns or just when they first come out. And today, the panelists we have here represent a wide variety of experiences in terms of how they support their recruitment on campus. And so it's always my goal to represent a broad view, and I think we've done that with today's group. So we are joined by Abby Sellers from Murfreesboro Medical Center, and she is a true talent acquisition specialist. She recruits in her days and in her nights and all the time in sleep, probably too. We also have Tina Hatcliffe, who is the guest services manager at Darrell Waltrip Honda, and she has leaned heavily in, although her role is not HR specifically, she attends tons of our events on campuses, really has invested in supporting students in terms of coaching them at our etiquette dinner and meeting with them at our events, coming to career fairs. But then she also has on the backside helped with organizing their internship program, helping to get them oriented to her organization, getting them onboarded and that sort of thing. And then Tasha is from Ascend Federal Credit Union, longtime partners of the Career Development Center and MTSU in general. And she is a Gold Star alum, is often on campus for various different organizations. Although her job is not recruiting specifically, she really does lean into the investment in the the organization representing on campus, and then also just showing our students, how a successful alum shows up for their alma mater. So I think that what we need to do, though, to sort of contextualize today's conversation is say a little bit more about what their Career Development Center does. And so one of my lovely colleagues is going to do that for us, kind of give us the framework, and then we'll jump into more specific questions with our panelists.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ayla Calvert. I am Advanced Career Advisor, like I said at the beginning. But just a little overview about what the Career Development Center is and what it means. We are here to support students and kind of be that bridge between employers and students wanting to get a job, internship, some type of employment, utilize their degree in some capacity. We are that place to hopefully help answer those questions students have about what that looks like, how to talk to these fabulous employers we have on today, and just how to network, how to utilize the skills that they're learning in the classroom and translate that into real world experiences. So our mission is to empower all students with the tools and strategies to discover and engage in meaningful and purposeful work. So again, we're just kind of that bridge. We are a small but mighty team of 9 professionals. We have 5 career advisors that all have different backgrounds. We have an assistant director who is more student facing, and then we have Jenny, who is employer facing, a director, Dr. Becca Moore, and then an office coordinator. So we are just a well-rounded team that love to support students and love to be there to help employers recruit students, help students really realize how to utilize those skills in the workforce, and just be that bridge between employer and students. I am going to pass it along to my colleague Victoria, and she's going to tell you about some cool competencies that we encourage students to have.
Thank you so much, Ayla. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Victoria Sexton. I'm also an advanced career advisor here at MTSU. So the NACE career competencies that you're seeing on your screen right now, those are our guiding light in our office. If you're not familiar, the National Association of Colleges and Employers, which is NACE, that is a national organization that works alongside a lot of universities and a lot of employers around the country. And they are doing the work to help define what it means to be career ready, specifically for our early talent, so our new and recent college graduates. So these competencies that you're seeing on the screen are research-based. So NACE will do regular research with universities and employers to determine what is it that we want our new graduates to not only have as far as skills go, but the also the ability to be able to talk about those skills and confidently. There is what they dub the perception gap, which basically means that new graduates will self-assess as being very strong and competent in these skills, where the employer might assess them a little lower. And so our role in the Career Center is to help students and recent alumni really think about those skill sets, be able to talk about how they built them in their time here and how that will translate into the workforce. We wanted to make sure we took a moment to really highlight that for you all, because while it will also guide our conversation, it really guides us in the work that we do as well. And so I'm sure we'll ask questions and get to more about how MTSU alumni have these skill sets too, but we're really proud of the work that we're doing to build these competencies in our students. And if you have any questions about NACE, you're also welcome to reach out to us, and they have immensely helpful resources on their website as well. With that, I'm going to kick it back to my colleagues and we can get this panel started.
I just wanted to piggyback on something that Victoria highlighted, which I hope is a takeaway message for those that are interested in getting started on campus, recruiting, which is there's an intentionality to what we're doing. And that begins with NACE, and we align ourselves very closely with those principles that were just demonstrated. We also are very ingrained in the economic development and workforce development initiatives in the greater Middle Tennessee region and beyond. We are close with the chamber folks. We talk with them often, and we glean information from every employer that we speak with, and trying to make sure that our students are showing up career ready for you, and what adjustments need to be made if that's not the case. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that as we dive into 3 different individuals that have invested in MTSU and in our students. And so I just wanted to kind of give them a moment to talk about themselves and their roles. If you could each introduce yourself, what your degree was when you graduated, and what you're currently doing for your company may enhance the student engagement and campus visibility for your organization.
Well, I'll get started. I'm Tina Hackcliffe, and I graduated in 1987. It's been a minute, with the Bachelor of Business Administration. And I am currently with Dara Walter Ponda. I'm the Guest Services Manager, which that title just is everything. People ask what I do, and it's endless. But I'm just so blessed to be a part of MTSU. I was here when we started up and started joining them. And I think our first year we just really didn't realize what we had our hands on. Just meeting these students that were looking for more, that was looking for interns, looking for a permanent home. And so our second year, we really dove in hard, and we now, I think, have 9 interns working with us right now, maybe 3 full-time. We did learn for us, our best fit was actually looking for interns so that we could bring them in with us, and we do pay them to come and join us to be an intern. But we get to find out if they're a fit for us and if we're a fit for them. And it has just been amazing. I know we've got one Madison right now that we're getting ready to bring in full time that just graduated. And I'm here to answer any questions. That's just a highlight of what I get to do and the part I get to join with MTSU. And I'm telling you, from 87 to 2026, knowing everything that goes on over there on my part, it is just amazing what y'all do, what you put into these people. I walked away from there in 87, and I was a third ready to join a workforce compared to what y'all do for these people now. And they are just the best. I wouldn't trade any of them right now. I wish they would all stay with me after they graduate. They were amazing people.
As you can tell, Tina is very good at her guest services job, and she is beloved by all, our team and the students that intern with them included. She made a couple of points that I want to reach back to in a little bit later. The internships, helping to build the talent pipeline, and that it's paid internships. So I made a note that I want to come back to that. But next, I wanted to hear from Abby, if you could tell us why you're motivated to recruit MTSU, what your journey was from graduation and so on.
Yes, so I graduated from MTSU in 2019. I graduated with a degree in organizational communication. Initially, when I graduated, I was working wedding planning and events and things like that, and COVID happened very soon after that. So I ended up in HR, somewhere that was a little more stable with, events getting canceled left and right. So that was kind of my journey into HR, and I've since made it into talent acquisition. This is my first talent acquisition role actually with MMC, but I have been here actually just had my 1-year anniversary. So I've been with MMC for a year now. And I would say that MMC is very active and involved with MTSU. We do have a really great partnership that we lean on a lot, actually, when we're recruiting. We do have a lot of PA students actually come in, and they will complete clinical rotations with us. And it's really a great opportunity for us to assess the skills of the student and, kind of train them up the way we would want them to be at MMC. And
it's really a joy because then sometimes when these students graduate, they look to us for employment opportunities. So it kind of gives us an in to kind of train them the way we would want them to be at MMC, as opposed to a really large hospital or something like that. We kind of have that in. But we're also really involved in, Meet Murfreesboro and things like that. And that allows us to meet students even outside of healthcare. So we do have a lot of, HR positions, accounting. We do have internships in marketing occasionally and things like that. So we're also always looking for those roles. And, being with MTSU really gives us that opportunity to find those students and build them up the way we would want them to be with our organization.
That's fabulous. And training them the way that you want them. That's another big plus to having that internship built out. It helps with conversion to full-time employees as well. So we'll come back to that in a little bit as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about what Meet Murfreesboro is that Abby referenced. But one thing I wanted to say is that I really appreciate that you have the ability to talk about a career pathway that wasn't straight and narrow and direct necessarily, because that is something that I know that Ayla and Victoria, as advanced career advisors, speak with students all the time, the anxiety that they feel for, what am I going to do for the rest of my life when they're all of 20 years old, can shut them down. And so that's one way that we love to get alumni in front of them that have, maybe a little winding path. And I want to emphasize that with employers as well. Sometimes, we'll have folks tell us that they're not sure that they can contribute because they had kind of a differing background, but that's exactly who is needed in terms of talking with our students. So we're so glad to have Abby here. All right, Ms. Tasha, you are our last panelist. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, so my name is Tasha Price. I'm a business development manager for Ascend Federal Credit Union, and I graduated in 2012. So it's been a little bit. I always like to, in my mind, think that I'm still a student there when I'm on campus so much, but it's been a while since I graduated. I'm definitely a proud alum. Part of my role at the credit union is I kind of serve as the relationship person for all of our external partners. Um, we also have those that are defined as strategic partnerships, and MTSU is one of those for us. It is really a lot of the universities in the Middle Tennessee area where, I'm sure the other employer partners here realize once you start to partner with a university, there's so many different departments and facets and events and things that you can plug into that there are really strategic partnerships and ways that you can, recruit, grow your business, and get involved and pour into students. So I have been at Ascend for over 12 years. Mainly always been in the business development role, but again, MTSU is one of the partnerships that I holistically manage. And it varies from, we're partnered obviously with athletics, the Career Development Center. We do things like Meet Murfreesboro. We do financial literacy efforts on campus. I think the last time that I looked at our one-sheeter, that's a high level of everything that we do. We're partnered with about 15 different departments for colleges on campus. And while I do not do directly recruiting, a lot of the things that we do on campus just organically feeds into recruitment efforts. And so I'm very grateful for that. One of our top students that we have ever hired came from participating in a mock interview one day where I was sitting across from this student, was 100% blown away by just the way he carried himself, how smart he was. Some of you may remember him, Nick Lynn. He was an all-star employee at the credit union. I left that day, sent it to our recruitment team, and was like, I don't know where he needs to be at the credit union, but he needs to be somewhere. And we hired him shortly thereafter. And so I would just say that, you get out of partnerships in anything that you do in life by what you put into it. And the credit union, our philosophy is people helping people. And so we know that if we go on campus and we engage with students, we pour into them, we see how we can help them grow their financial literacy, then they just want to not only work here, but also do business with us, right? And so very blessed to be here, very blessed for all the opportunities that we've had across campus to get involved. And I thank Jenny for allowing me to be a part of the panel, even though I'm not directly recruitment efforts.
No, that's great. And like I said, I wanted folks to have that other perspective that, ultimately the role that you play supports recruitment for our students at Ascend, but also that's true on campus. And so as Tasha alluded, there are many different departments that work with students in terms of building their career development. And we are the only career center on campus, whereas other universities sometimes have one in the College of Business and in other areas. We are the central one. And for that reason, we are a good place to start. If you're not sure where would be the best place to start, please reach out to us and we can help plug you in. We continue to present opportunities to companies once we get to learn what it is that is going to amplify their initiatives. And so we want to help make those connections. And I know that at a large university like MTSU, it can be a little confusing about where to get started. But we do try to tailor experiences to our employers as best we can. We will only ever advise you to participate in events that we feel like there will be a benefit for you. Whether it's, I just need to show up to career fairs, I don't have the capacity in my organization to assign people to come to all these other events that these ladies were mentioning. Whether it is that you have a little coaching room in your schedule to come on campus a couple times, maybe speak with a student organization or present to a class. Or if you want to dive all in, like some of these ladies that are engaged in partnerships with the Career Development Center, where I swear in April, I told Tina I thought she was on campus more than I was, because we had her coming, because as you can see, she is invested in our students and wants to help them succeed. And so she enjoyed being on campus and they absolutely responded well to her. So I think that would you pop up the slide about Meet Murfreesboro, Ayla? A couple of these ladies mentioned Meet Murfreesboro, and that's often a good place for folks that are just getting started to begin an MTSU. It's not a career fair. Meet Murfreesboro is what we call a campus and community fair. And so it is for businesses, small, large, nonprofit, for-profit, or organizations like churches and that sort of thing, to come on campus during our first week of the academic year. And they can promote their products and services. Ascend has oftentimes accounts that are specific to students, and they can talk about that, but they can also promote part-time or seasonal work that they may have as students are getting back on campus. Sometimes they are looking for those sorts of things, and they can begin to tease the opportunities that they're going to have available when they come back for the big career fair in September. So Meet Murfreesboro, the information is here. It's $150 for one day. We co-sponsor Meet Murfreesboro with new student and family programs. And if you just want to kind of dip your toe into a campus introduction and just, wade into the water a little bit, this is probably a great place to start for you. So we have that information there. I'm going to pause for a minute and see if there's any questions that we can answer or that we want to direct towards a particular panelist.
I would just like to add, Jenny, from a recruitment perspective, and Ginger, the alumni office, can correct me if I'm wrong, but a big draw for us is we are located regionally in Middle Tennessee. And I think that the last average that I got as an alumni board member was that about 40% of the students, once they move here for MTSU, they stay here locally in the Middle Tennessee area. And so I know that as an employer, that is another reason why we partner heavily with the Career Development Center and MTSU as a whole, because we know that those students, and even if they come from somewhere else, they're going to end up staying here more than most likely. I'm a transplant. I moved to Murfreesboro for MTSU, and I've lived here ever since. And so that's another big draw for us too, that I think it's important to mention.
And that's true for the region in general. We often hear that from our chamber friends and from other companies that are headquartered here, that some of the other schools in the area will graduate these students, but then they'll leave after a year or two. And for the most part, most of our students are from Tennessee want to stay in Tennessee, want to build their lives here. And so that's why we take so seriously our relationships with our employer partners, with the chambers, so that we can continue to grow, regionally, help build talent pipelines and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's a great call out. What are some other, while we're on that topic, what are some other things that you think recruiting from MTSU are special or different because you're an alumna, or just in general? Are there particular things that you can call out as what the goods are, I guess, in terms of MTSU candidates?
Well, sorry, I'll just jump in again. But I think that it's important to note, just for the alumni base in general, that the Career Development Center will help you no matter how many years it's been since you've graduated. That is not the case at a lot of campuses. And so I think that, what Tina had said about how, the plethora of resources that you guys provide now, I mean, obviously it's expanded since the last time that I was there, but I mean, the Career Development Center has helped me and my colleagues and others, more well into our careers after it's been some years since we graduated. And so I think that's something that definitely sets you guys apart, that I'm personally grateful for. And I know a lot of other alums are. But then there's some people that I talk to that are like, oh, I didn't realize I could call them. I'm like, well, you definitely should, because they'll help you with that next career opportunity or that transition. Because in the world that we all live in today, AI is so readily used and available that sometimes it hinders you from getting that interview if you don't hit those certain keywords, and they are experts in that. And so it's one of those where it could help you get that foot in the door to potentially get that job if you experience some layoffs or transitions or what have you.
And that's a good call out too from the employer perspective as well. We focus mostly on early talent, students while they're in school, and those internships are those that are getting ready to graduate. But because we support alumni throughout their careers, we often have folks that we can suggest or send job descriptions to. So if you do have sort of middle management or other positions that do require more experience, still please reach out to us in the Career Development Center so that we can try to get you plugged in. We also, again, try to build our relationship with our campus partners that can help plug into those alumni networks. Alumni Affairs is obviously at the leader of that. But even some of the academic departments have ways to reach out to, many of them stay connected through LinkedIn, or even listservs and things like that are specific to their academic programs if you're looking for something in particular. And we in the Career Development Center will help plug you in as best we can. So I think my voice is starting to go, so I'm going to ask Ayla or Victoria if they can step in for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear from you all what makes MTSU alumni stand out compared to other early level talent that you're seeing, whether it's related to the competencies or other things that you're noticing when you're hiring interns or new professionals.
So something that we really value with our MTSU students
When
when
they
come
get here
in
from MTSU, we do less training. I mean, they walk in the door and they're just ready to go. They just have that business background better than someone that we interview that just, was not MTSU. It's night and day to me, to the people that I talk to that came from MTSU that just came off the street. They are just so ready to get to work. Their knowledge, their in-depth of the internets, the computer system, phone. I mean, they can pick up a phone and ready to work in a couple of days. For a lot of people that we bring in, we have to train much longer because they haven't been in front of all the business stuff that MTSU's put them in. We just love these people. I'm telling you, I would take them all, every one of them. They're great.
Well, they're great because you coach them too, and again, very very intentional about the experiences that you give your interns. So we appreciate that. Abby, I'm sorry, you were saying, I think Tina lost some connection for a minute, so
That's totally fine. No, that's totally fine. No, I completely agree with Tina. So we really love having our MTSU students come in for their clinical rotations. And like Tina said, they come in and they already have so much baseline knowledge that we don't have to do an extreme amount of training. We don't have to catch them up on a lot of things, but we are able to introduce them to our systems and our processes, our ways of doing things. And they also come in with a great knowledge of the community. I think that's something that MTSU really does very well. They integrate their students within the community, within Murfreesboro itself. And MMC is also very active within the community, be it MTSU or just, other things within Murfreesboro. We're constantly out and about all over Middle Tennessee. So, they have a lot of things that really fit in our culture and, work well within our organization. So, they are just very, very good students and they're a great fit. And so we try and lean on that a lot and really keep them in mind for future opportunities. And we try and give them a great experience so that when they do graduate, their first thought is, oh, I really fit in well at MMC and I would love to go back there. So that's what we love about your students.
It's always great to hear. And I'll just reiterate again that many of our students are from this area, but beyond that, many of them are first generation college students. Many of them have been working since they were teenagers. Many of them are not only supporting themselves, but also their families while they're going to school as well. So I do think I've worked at another university in this area, and I do think that I'm always very impressed by the work ethic and the drive to succeed that our students have. That said, I don't want to make this seem like it's an infomercial for how great our students are. We know that they're going to falter at points. And honestly, we want to have that feedback from employers to let us know the ways they're not showing up work ready, because we do pivot. We are actually, we plan our programming around it. We're going to be doing a professionalism type focus on a couple of our programs this year. Ayla, do you want to talk about the one we put together for last year?
Yeah, so we put together, I oversee as a liaison for the College of Education. And so I am the point contact for faculty members and students, but as career advisors, we serve all students. It's just easier for faculty to have a point of contact, so for students. So in the spring, I also kind of oversee the Tennessee Teach Back Initiative. It's a group of students who have to who have to sign up and get accepted into a program that collaborates with local school districts. And so we were able to coordinate a professionalism conference where we were teaching students the importance of the Career Development Center, the importance of NACE career competencies, and how they can play those skill sets that they're learning through their residency and practicum hours into the classroom. And so luckily, Jenny was able to bring on a member of a local school who is an MTSU alum, who's super familiar with all the things College of Education and MTSU does. And she was able to bring in personal perspectives and experiences that she's had of professionalism, how to handle those parent-teacher conversations, specific experiences that may be challenging for first-year students, and just really giving those students a more personable, professional perspective of what to expect once they are out in the workforce. And just to reiterate everything that everyone on this panel has said, the things students are learning in their classrooms are super important because they're getting those real life experiences from employers. Employer buy-in, or just those conversations of, hey, I know where you've been. I know how hard it is. I see both sides. I was a student in your shoes once. I'm also a employer on the other side. I see how much you're trying and the connections you're trying to make. Yes, everybody wants a job at the end of the day. Everybody wants to get paid for what they want to do, but those networking and those connections that students are making with employers like Abby and Tasha and Tina right now, it really goes a lot further because they're learning from people who actually have been in their shoes. And so the professionalism conference is something that we're hoping to continue on. We had really good buy-in from table hosts that were doctoral students. So they had multiple years of experience already in the field that were talking to these freshmen, sophomore, and junior, seniors just telling them what to do, how to handle certain situations, what they recommend on networking and connecting with other people. And so that's just a prime example of employer-student relations along with collaboration with the Career Development Center.
And there's, again, we've alluded to some of the ways that our employer partners support our students in terms of doing mock interviews, as Tasha mentioned, resume reviews, coaching at etiquette dinners, and presenting to student organizations that are pursuing a career path similar to yours. Those are all ways that you really do impact their career trajectories. And it can be, like in the case that Tasha mentioned, it can actually turn into a relationship that then turns into an internship or a job. That's the hope. And for that reason, our Career Development Center really does try to offer opportunities for our partners to go beyond, just the career fairs, because sometimes those other avenues where they don't realize they're sort of, being interviewed are how you're going to see the authenticity in the students and identify someone that could be really great for your organization.
I will just expand on that too, Jenny, if you don't mind. On it can be out of the box connections from the Career Development Center, just different partners on MTSU's campus in general. Because one thing I think that also sets MTSU apart is that they really stay closely connected to the different industries and the different businesses to see, hey, where is this gap at? What kind of talent do you need? What kind of experience do they need? And they adjust the curriculum to match that, right? And so we've also been able to recruit some, really top-notch students just from project-based work that is needed for the classroom. So that's something outside of the box where maybe you don't have the bandwidth to go and sit at the career fair, but maybe there is a project that you have that you could really use some student help with. And we have, did things from our finance area. We've had HR submit projects before. Our marketing department just submitted a project, and we got somebody that we recruited from that. That was a recent grad. But I mean, just things where it's like this is not priority, but we would like to see it done. Hand that off for them to get that experience, and then you uncover some really great talent in that too. So just wanted to mention that that's kind of an outside the box way, outside of the events and programming that you guys do, that you guys serve as connectors for us to get some really good talent too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point, Tasha. We've got engineering, technology, and mechatronics often do class projects. They're now transferring to where it's a year long. So together we went and we went to a warehouse in town and walked the warehouse, talking with the individual departments and identifying things that this small company would love to do, but they don't have the capacity for. And we found 4 projects. One was engineering technology, one was marketing, one was sales, one was human resources. And so site visits are fun for us. It's a field trip, it gives us a chance to play in your world a little bit. We brought a couple students along to that. And so they were already, throwing out ideas. And so I think that's a great point. And there again, that's what our vision of the Career Development Center is to be a holistic connecting point in any way that we can to connect our students to industry, to connect our students to alumni, and really from those relationships. That's a great point.
I want to remind participants, please feel free to enter in your questions in the Q&A. We want to hear from you and what's on your mind. Any questions, go. We've alluded to the career fairs a few times, so I wonder if now might be a good time to pause there for a little bit. We'd love to hear from you all panelists, what your experiences have been at career fairs and what kind of interactions you've had with students. Maybe just pause and tell us a little bit more about your career fair experience at MTSU.
I will speak up on that. We love the career fair. It's an opportunity to meet so many of the students as they come through. And also the best career fair gives you a little bit of time to even interview and talk to them a little bit more. But the people that come through, we normally will get a list going from the ones that are interested in intern or interested in a position that we may have. And then we will when we get back to the store, then we'll give them a call. We set up an interview and bring them in, and usually they have to go through at least 3 interviews whenever they get here. But I love the fact too that MTSU, y'all all let them know who's going to be there. And most of these students, they'll pre-plan. They'll go ahead and they'll look for the businesses that interest them or that might connect to what they're looking for. And I'm telling you, there are so many people that walk up to the table and that we get to meet and get to know them a few minutes there, and then we get their information if there's something that might work for us or work for them, and then we get back with them. But the career fairs are very well. In fact, right there, now you're seeing my general manager of the store, Mr. Berryman, and he actually, which is very unusual for a general manager to step out, but he enjoys these career fairs so much that he actually joins with me and sometimes another person, and they're really, really good. They're worth you being there. I recommend every one of them that they do at the career fairs. Really good.
So for context, and then I'll let anybody else join in, but for context, what we're showing you right now is the big career fair. This is our university-wide all majors event, and we have over 300 academic programs. So we intentionally keep it, offer as many industries to our students as we can. And we had 2,100 students and alumni come through last fall. So in terms of bang for your buck, it's a good one to talk with students from a wide variety of majors. And, as Abby mentioned too, sometimes they recruit for marketing and, not just the nursing and PA staff, but, some of the business roles. So, and then we also have, to show the slide that has the other career fairs, Ayla. There are the academic departments some of them host smaller boutique industry focused fairs, and we support those as well. And so you can see just a tentative list of what we've got going on this fall. Meet the Firms is accounting, concrete and construction management has their own fair. Now you will see concrete and construction management students at the big career fair, as you will engineering technology, and mechatronics. You'll see them at the big career fair, but this is if you just want, that slice of the pie that's very focused with specific skills. And again, if you talk with us about what your goals are, what your interests are, what you're recruiting for right now, we will, do our best to advise you which events might be best for you. Many people will come to the big career fair and also go to one of the smaller ones. And others, don't have the capacity to do multiple events in the fall. And so they'll just choose one. Those are in Handshake. I don't know that we've mentioned Handshake yet, but we can, if you are interested in setting up a profile in Handshake to post positions, to connect with these career fairs that we've mentioned, to message students that might have the skills that you're looking for, you can use this QR code there. And I'm happy to provide more information offline about Handshake, but that's the early talent platform that we use. It's not proprietary to MTSU. All of the universities in the area, with the exception of Cumberland, I think, use Handshake. And so posting a position in Handshake, you can post it to be visible to MTSU students. But if you'd like to concurrently have folks at TSU or TTU or Vanderbilt or Lipscomb or Belmont viewing it as well, then Handshake's a good place to get started with that. So I just wanted to jump in with that. But Abby and Tasha, do you guys have anything different to offer about the events that were mentioned?
So
sorry, Tasha, you go.
No, okay. Go ahead.
So my first time attending the big career fair was last fall, and I attended with our CHRO, who is also very new to MMC. So that was both of our first experiences at the big career fair, and it was extremely valuable, not just to meet your students, but also businesses as well, and learn about their recruiting processes and what has worked well for them, what other career fairs that they are attending. So I think that's something that, you don't always think about when you're going to a career fair, the connections that you'll meet within the community that aren't just, people looking for employment, but other employers as well, and finding out what works well for them. And, sometimes you just have to help each other out and, let each other know, this is where I find really great positions. This is where you can go. Hey, this person that I interviewed didn't work out for me, but I think they'd be a really good fit for you. And sometimes it's really just a helping game between each other. So that was something we really found valuable.
And I'll just add that I think coming to the career fairs, all of those students are top notch. So if you get the chance and you have the capacity to participate in any of those, you'll leave with a stack of resumes and it'll be hard to choose because there's just such top notch talent at MTSU. And so if you have some positions that you're really looking to fill or, I have had trouble filling, it's really a great resource to be able to connect with some good talent that will be a good fit for your organization.
Right, we had a question in the chat and someone asked, is this where experience positions? And I know Victoria just answered that, but they were asking to maybe expand on that. So I don't know if anybody wants to speak on that or not, but kind of where you look to post more experience positions.
So again, Handshake is an early talent platform. So if you are needing somebody with more experience than say, up to 3 to 5 years, I would say still, falls on that early talent side, depending on how you count experience too, particularly like, if they had multiple internships while they were in school and had a couple of years under their belt that way, it sort of depends on, on what you deem as experience. But beyond 5 years, I wouldn't post in Handshake. And if you are interested in a career fair that you want to promote, jobs that have 5 years of experience or more, and something that is, more suited for early graduates or internships while they're in school, then I think that would be worth your time. I think if you need 5+ years of experience, I wouldn't want to convince you that coming to one of our career fairs is going to probably benefit you if that's the only role that you're hiring for. And that I would, go back to what I said earlier, which is give us a call. Let us know what you're hiring for, what difficulties you're having, and we will try to connect you with some of our faculty and in the various different academic colleges maintain these, again, listservs or LinkedIn groups or whatever. And so they may know someone that has the experience that you need. So hopefully that answered the question.
There was another question posted in the Q&A. What are the current expectations of this new workforce when it comes to salaries or even intern pay? Is this something you all discuss with students? They said my agency participates in the big career fair and it's the only college fair we feel like is 100% worth it.
Sorry, I think I missed the bulk of the question because I was reading another comment. So just can you phrase it again for me?
What are the current expectations of this new workforce when it comes to salaries or even intern pay?
Okay, great segue. I'm Gen X. And for those of you in the room that are also Gen X, I'm sure that you did unpaid internships and you were hungry and happy to do it at that point. We no longer suggest that, both because of our student population. They are, again, supporting themselves, sometimes supporting their families. They can't reduce hours at their jobs to work at an internship that's unpaid. It's not feasible or realistic for them. So we do, hope that you'll offer them something. In terms of what the range is, it depends on your industry, and that would be a rabbit hole for me to go down on this call. But we can help advise you. We'll send you some resources that will help you determine what is reasonable. In terms of the fair itself, the big career fair, we say that the people that are coming to vend, for lack of a better word, at the fair are either promoting student internships that are compensated, and we don't deem that, we don't put a lot of parameters on that, but it is expected that it's not just $100, that it's relative to how many hours a week you're wanting them to work, how many weeks that goes on, what sorts of skills and abilities they need coming in, and so on. So the big career fair attendees are either promoting a student internship or they're promoting an early talent role that is $45,000 or more base salary, so that it's a livable wage. If there are companies I get contacted by a lot that have 100% commission based sales types of roles, and that's not a good fit for the big career fair. Our students don't have the networks to come in and support themselves 100% commission right out of the gate. But that's a conversation we can have in more depth. But yeah, did that get to the whole question, Ayla?
I think so. And then the second part of that question was, is this something you all discuss with students? Yes, we definitely discuss with students about how to navigate that. They're, the benefactor of potential internship, because like some departments, for example, social work, a lot of it is nonprofit or, sort of volunteer work, so to speak, to gain that experience that they need. And so those are just conversations that we have with students all the time about the benefactor of that internship. Can they make it work? What are they gaining from that internship that's going to help them in their career roles? We do have those conversations with students, yes.
I just want to respond to Anissa wrote in the chat. She's asking about the challenge with coming to not just the big career fairs, that it's early in the year. It's September 24th, and roles come up throughout the year. So there again, if you give me a call, Anissa, I'd love to talk with you about some other opportunities that come up. Tina referenced the best career fair. That's focused on College of Business students, but it's the most broad thing. That's in the spring. We have tourism and hospitality. We have aerospace, engineering and mechatronics. We mentioned nursing, educator, recruitment fair. So we have things throughout the year. Also, we are working with the student organizations and service department to try to identify student groups that would like to have an employer come in and speak in their meetings, and that could be a great way to promote positions within. Occasionally, with an asterisk, occasionally we can arrange for you to do a presentation in a classroom. But I do have to say that faculty would never get anything done if they just entertained employers all the time, because everybody wants to get to the classroom. But student organizations is another different way. Sometimes we have lunch and learn. Sometimes we have webinars like this. We mentioned some of the workshops that we do that we use you for your resume reviewing skills or your ability to give them feedback on their pitches, their elevator pitches. And in exchange, you often come away with candidates that you want to follow up with. So there are avenues to stay connected throughout the academic year, and I'd love to talk with you more about that. And if you'll give me a shout.
All right. Well, great. Well, we're coming up close to the hour. So Tasha, Tina, Abby, is there any last thoughts that you would like to, anybody like to share with us before we close out?
I'd just say contact Jenny and the team over there. If you have any hiring needs, then you're not going to go wrong by contacting their office and plugging into these events and working directly with them to fulfill those needs with some True Blue staff, So that would be my parting words for today.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tasha. I mean, they have been so hands-on with us. We've just been blessed to have Jenny by our side. But I'm telling you, it's worth a try to go to some of these events, go to the career fairs, get to know them. It's more personal than you think. A lot of stuff that you deal with now is not personal. And, you think of AI and how you can't even get through. These people are real, and then they really care. And that's the way I feel the students are that come out of there too.
I agree wholeheartedly with Tina and Tasha. I think it is always worth investing in MTSU students. I think that what you get in return is so valuable to your company, your organization. So any way you can partner with MTSU, I highly suggest it. It is well worth it.
I do want to throw this in really quickly. We do have this opportunity, just a small engagement potentially for your office or organization is our career closet. This is a closet. It's pretty much like a big classroom full of professional outfits that we encourage students to utilize while they are here on campus. It is full of interview outfits, presentations. Some student orgs require students to dress up. All of it is donations from community members. We collaborate with the Alumni Association on this every year just to collect professional outfits for students to come and try on, and then they get to keep whatever they take. So we don't have a return policy. They keep it to help them prepare for the next step in their career journey. And we have had a lot of a lot of students come by and see just benefit from this opportunity that Ascend helps us with, the Alumni Association, and other campus community members and partners. And so if you want to help fulfill the career closet, please reach out anytime. You don't have to make an appointment, just give our office a call or come and say, hey, I got some clothes to drop off. We would love to take any donations that are professional.
Great, that's great. That's a great feedback on that. And also, if you're close to our office, our alumni office as well, our alumni house, you feel free to drop those off as well. And we'd be happy to take those as well from you and get it over to them. But I want to wrap it up. We're getting close. We got about a minute left. So I want to thank everyone. Thank you to our panelists. This is a really great, wonderful conversation. It's always great to hear the feedback that our students, are when you come, you're excited. Like Tina said, I'm excited to be on campus. I'd hire them all. That's always a good thing to hear that feedback. So that's wonderful to hear. I was really happy to hear all that today. Just in closing, we'll actually have this webinar was recorded, and so we will send that to everybody that's on today. Also with a short survey. So we'd love your feedback. We'd love to hear if you have any other type of topics that you would like to know about. Our next webinar is, are we still talking about AI? We are, in fact, still talking about AI. It's a very popular topic. It's going to be on Friday, September 25th, also at noon. And one of our professors here at MTSU, Dr. Sam Zaza, she's an expert in that field, will be joining us. So be sure to be looking out for that great next webinar. Also, you have our social media. It's up here on the screen. If you're not already following us, make sure that you follow us on social media. Be looking out. We have some great events coming up. We have homecoming. We have some workshops in the works. So make sure that you follow us as well. But thank you so much, everybody. We hope you have a great afternoon. Thank you again to the Career Services and for our panelists for joining us. Have a great afternoon.